Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight to continue our discussion with the food exchange system. Just as a disclosure, I am in no way an expert on the matter, and I am getting the information that I have from the Real Life Blue Book and from the My Day One book that is received when you join TOPS. In the past couple of sessions, we learned about the basics of the exchange system, followed by the fruits and vegetables and free food. Tonight, we will learn about the meat and meat substitutes and milk. So let's start with the meat and meat substitutes. And when you think about meat, you think protein. The foods listed as meat are high in fiber, but have varying levels of fat and calories. Proteins can come from meat or plants. For those that do not eat meat, the plant-based proteins are in a separate list. Animal-based proteins do not have carbohydrates or fiber, but may be high in fat. So when cooking, cut away the visible fat. Choose baking, roasting, broiling, grilling, poaching, steaming, or boiling instead of fried meat. When the meat is coated with meal, flour, or breadcrumbs, you will need to add a starch to the meal plan. Just 3 tablespoons of these dry ingredients add 15 grams of carbohydrate. So one meat exchange is 1 ounce of meat, fish, poultry, or cheese. So, and beware that most meals include at least 3 ounces of meat. So animal-based proteins have 0 carbs and 7 grams of protein. Lean meat has 0 to 3 grams of fat, 45 calories. Medium fat meats have 4 to 7 grams of fat and 75 calories. High fat meats have 8 plus grams of fat and 100 calories. And on a 1,500 calorie diet, you can have 5 meats exchanges per day. So a meat exchange is 1 ounce of beef or 1 ounce of cheese. That's a slice of cheese. And 1 ounce of beef like this is probably served in 3 ounce portions. So that would be 3 meat exchanges. So 3 ounces of beef is about the size of a deck of cards. Fish, 3 ounces, is the size of a checkbook. 1 ounce of cheese is equal 4 dice, roughly the size of a piece of string cheese. 1 ounce of fish or 1 hot dog each one is 1 meat exchange. So the meat substitute is 1 egg, is the same thing as 1 meat exchange, or you can have 2 slices of bacon. This is pork bacon, not turkey bacon, so we have to think it's 3 slices of turkey bacon. 1 ounce hamburger, a 1 ounce pork chop, which this is usually more than an ounce. A single pork chop is usually more like 2 to 3 ounces. You can also have a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese, 1 ounce of tuna, and these are more or less medium fat. If you get the low fat or fat-free cottage cheese, I'm sure the serving size is a 1/2 cup. 1 ounce of chicken, 1 ounce of deli meat. Both of these are considered 1 meat exchange. So 1 day of meat or meat substitutes is, you can have 5 ounces. This is a sample of different meat exchanges that you can have throughout the day. These are actually meat substitutes, except for the chicken is considered a meat. So on a meal plan, you would think you can have 5 meat servings per day on a 1,500 calorie eating plan. So if you choose, you could have 3-ounce chicken breast, or which would count as 3 meat exchanges, or maybe a bacon cheeseburger with a 1-ounce hamburger patty, 1 ounce of sliced cheese, 2 slices of bacon. That's 3 meat exchanges. If you add a bun, that top and bottom, that's 2 starches. And then the ketchup, mustard, and pickle is considered free food because each one of those is less than 20 calories. Again, free foods can be used in moderation. Here is a couple of meat exchanges. So if you really don't eat beef, you could use turkey, salmon, you could use pork, lamb. So there's, the wild game. So if you have deer meat, which is veal, so you could choose one of these. If you do not eat meat, animal protein, you can choose one of these plant-based proteins. So, excuse me, baked beans, a meatless burger or a veggie burger. But here, if you use plant-based, remember there some of them are meat plus a starch or a carb. So you would count that a little bit different. So here's some medium fat meats. Cheeses, egg, fish, any fried type, sausage. The high-fat meats, pastrami, bologna, which is processed also, sausage, cheese, regular cheese, 1 ounce cheese, a hot dog, even a turkey or chicken hot dog, is considered high fat. Okay. All right, now let's move on to the milk. Okay, the milk group is a little bit tricky. Many dairy products are categorized either as meat. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm sorry. The milk group is a little tricky. Many dairy products are categorized as either meat or meat substitutes or as fats, such as cheese is meat or meat substitute listed because it is high in protein. Cream or other dairy fats are in fats list. and non-dairy creamers are in the free food list. So choose skim or 1% milk and yogurt foods when possible, as the fat content of milk and yogurt increases. So does the saturated fat, cholesterol, and calories. You do not have to add milk and yogurt as fat. So some examples of milk are 1 cup of milk, and that's any kind of milk. It ranges from 100 to 160 calories based on the type. So the skim milk would be the 100 calories, and the whole milk would be 160. 2/3 cup of fat-free yogurt, which is about a 6-ounce cup, and 1 cup of Lactaid, or the lactose-free milk. Okay, and on a 1,500 calories, you can have 2 servings per day of milk. All right, so here's the milk exchanges. One milk exchange has 12 grams of carbohydrate, and 8 grams of protein. Skim or 1% milk has 0 to 3 grams of fat and 100 calories. 2% milk has 5 grams of fat and 120 calories. Whole milk has 5 grams of fat and 160 calories. Okay, so here's some examples of milk. 8 ounces of milk, 6 ounces of fat-free yogurt. All right, here's some different exchanges. If you don't like a certain type, they have chocolate milk over here. But you would count 1 milk plus 1 carb. Eggnog. You got Christmas coming up, so a half a cup, you would count 1 carb plus 2 fats. Soy milk is 1 carb plus a half a fat. Yogurt with fruit, you got 1 fat-free milk and 1 carbohydrate. So over here, as you see, your serving size may vary a little bit, but you can have 1 cup of milk, and there again, they vary in calorie count. Okay. So let's look at if we put milk into our meal plan for the day. So you can have 2 servings of milk per day. So if you use a cup of milk or half a cup of cottage cheese. And a breakfast might be 1 egg, which is a meat, a half a cup of cottage cheese, which is a meat serving, and 1 cup of milk, and then coffee with non-dairy creamer. So the 1 cup of milk would be the milk exchange, and the coffee with non-dairy creamer is a free food. So last week I asked you to concentrate on the vegetables and the fruits, trying to get those into your meal plans, and maybe a couple of small free foods. Well, this week let's concentrate on measuring your meat and making sure that you stay within your 5 meats or 5 proteins a day, and also the milk exchanges. If you don't or can't drink milk, consider other alternatives such as yogurt and some of the other milk exchanges, even chocolate milk. So just concentrate on that this week. And I hope I've helped you in some way. And next time we will talk about the starch and fat. And then we're a couple of weeks away that we'll put everything together and we'll make up a meal. And then this is the way that you can learn how to count calories. We'll also talk about combo foods coming up in the next few episodes. Thank you for joining, and have a good evening.